People who use drugs do not deserve to die simply because they use drugs.
Emotions were very high at the state capitol today. Connecticut is considering a pilot program to establish overdose prevention centers.
And in our state, people are more likely to die in unintentional drug overdoses than a car crash. And advocates say OPCs are the step in the right direction.
Fox 61's Emma Wolforst reports from the state capitol.
Yeah, the family members and loved ones of those who have lost someone to addiction or overdoses say this bill is all about hope, healing, and saving lives.
Alec often talked about two voices in his head, one that would say, we're staying on the path to recovery, and the other that would say, one last time. Unfortunately, that night, that was the last time he did anything.
In 2018, Alec Pelletier died of an accidental overdose on his 26th birthday.
I was only 9. Sometimes I ask myself, why did his life have to end then? Why did our time together have to end then? And the answer is it didn't. With these facilities, it didn't have to end. Had he had a safe place to go, we would still be here. He would be here.
His mom and little sister joined other advocates at the state capitol Friday to testify in favor of legislation to establish an overdose prevention center pilot program.
I'm tired of burying my friends. I'm tired of watching their caskets get lowered into the ground.
Cameron Breen is an overdose survivor himself and says OPCs are life-saving interventions with proven results.
When an overdose happens outside of a safe, supervised space, over 40% of those cases require an ambulance transport. Inside an overdose prevention center, that number is less than 1%.
The idea of overdose prevention centers is to provide a clean, safe space for people to use drugs with medical professionals and staff on hand ready to step in.
They don't solve all the problems, but they fill a gap that currently exists, in particularly focusing on the most marginalized folks.
Advocates say some of the concerns they often hear are these centers would encourage drug use or bring crime to an area. But supporters say other approaches haven't worked, and it's time to take the leap with OPCs.
While we continue to talk about this, and while we continue to worry about the moral implications of what these centers do, people will continue to use drugs alone, and people will continue to die.
For Dita and Aria, they say a center like this would have saved Alec's life.
We have so many statistics that show that these centers save lives, but we don't have one single statistic that shows that they don't.
He would be here today. We've got to stop the deaths in our country, in our state. We can't do anything to help these young people who simply have a disease. We can't do anything to help them if they're no longer here.
A similar measure to this one was brought up 2 years ago in the session in 2023, but never fully passed. Reporting at the state capitol, Emma Wolforst, Fox 61.